You don't miss them. You miss the feeling of being chosen. You miss the version of yourself that believed this was forever. Because if you're being honest, you know they hurt you. You remember the nights you cried, the overthinking, the anxiety, the silence that felt louder than arguments. So why? Why do you still think about them? Why does their name still trigger something in your chest? Why does your mind replay memories that your heart knows were painful? The answer isn't love. It's psychology. And psychology doesn't care about logic. The human brain is not designed to make you happy. It's designed to make you survive. And survival prefers familiarity, even toxic familiarity. Because to your brain, familiar pain feels safer than unfamiliar peace. When you're with someone for a long time, your brain starts building neural pathways around them. Not just emotionally. Biologically, their voice becomes comfort. Their texts become routine. Their presence becomes emotional safety, even if that safety was inconsistent. Even if some days they made you anxious. Even if some nights you cried, your nervous system still learned their rhythm. It learned the timing of their replies, the tone of their silence, the difference between I'm busy and I'm distant. Your body got used to checking your phone for them, sleeping only after talking to them, sharing small daily details, imagining your future around them, measuring your mood by their attention. And slowly, without realizing it, they became part of your internal structure. Your mornings included them. Your nights ended with them. Your decisions considered them. So when they leave, your brain doesn't just lose a person. It loses a system. It loses a rhythm it memorized. And breaking a pattern feels like danger to the brain because patterns equal safety. That's why your chest feels tight. That's why silence feels loud. That's why ordinary days suddenly feel empty. Not because they were perfect, but because they were predictable. And predictability creates attachment. Now there's no good morning text, no familiar notification sound, no one to update about small victories. And your brain keeps expecting something that no longer comes. That gap, that space between expectation and reality is what hurts. Because now there's emptiness where routine used to live. And the brain hates emptiness. It would rather replay old memories than sit in unfamiliar silence. Love isn't just emotional, it's chemical. Every time they gave you attention, your brain released dopamine, the same chemical involved in addiction. Every I miss you, every hug, every late night conversation that made you feel chosen. Your brain marked those moments as reward, as something valuable, as something to seek again. And over time, you didn't just love them. You became neurologically attached to the feeling they gave you. Now imagine something addictive, something your brain depended on for comfort, that suddenly disappears. Your brain doesn't calmly accept it. It panics. It searches. It craves. It replays memories, trying to recreate the high. It zooms in on the good moments and edits out the pain. This is why you stalk their profile. Why you reread old chats at night. Why you listen to songs that reopen wounds. Just to feel close to them again. You're not weak. You're not dramatic. You're detoxing. Heartbreak is emotional withdrawal. And withdrawal is uncomfortable, restless, and confusing. Because your brain is asking for a reward that your heart knows is no longer safe.
Here's something most people don't realize. The more inconsistent someone was, the harder they are to forget. When someone is always loving, your nervous system feels stable, calm, safe. But when someone gives you love, then pulls away, then comes back again, your brain becomes hyper-focused. Because unpredictability creates tension, and tension creates obsession. This is called intermittent reinforcement. It's the same psychological principle used in gambling. You don't know when you'll win, so you keep playing. You don't know when they'll text, so you keep checking. You don't know when they'll choose you fully, so you keep proving yourself. The rare moments of affection start to feel more valuable than consistent love ever could. You weren't addicted to them. You were addicted to hope. Hope that this time they'll stay. Hope that this time they'll choose you completely. Hope that this time you'll finally feel secure. And hope is the hardest addiction to break. When someone leaves, you don't just lose a person. You lose a role. You were someone's favorite person, someone's priority, someone's good morning and good night, someone's first call when something good happened, someone's comfort after a bad day. And without realizing it, you built part of your identity around that role. Now, who are you? Heartbreak doesn't just break the heart, it shakes the sense of self. Because when love becomes routine, it becomes part of how you see yourself. You start questioning, was I not enough? Was I too emotional? Was I too distant? Did I love too much? Did I love in the wrong way? And your ego desperately wants answers. Because rejection feels personal. It feels like a verdict on your worth. But sometimes, it's not that you weren't enough. It's that you were loving someone who didn't know how to receive love. Someone who was confused about what they wanted. Someone who enjoyed being chosen, but wasn't ready to choose back. And your brain keeps going back to them. Not because they were perfect, not because they were irreplaceable, but because with them, you felt seen, you felt wanted, you felt significant. And now, you feel ordinary, you feel replaceable. And that loss of significance, that quiet shift from important to optional, that's the real pain. The deepest pain isn't the memories. It's the future you imagined, the trips you planned, the home you talked about, the inside jokes that were supposed to last years, the version of you that felt secure beside them. You're not just grieving what happened, you're grieving what was supposed to happen. And psychologically, that hits differently. Because the human mind doesn't only attach to people, it attaches to projections. When you fall in love, your brain starts constructing a mental future. It fills in details. It creates scenes. It rehearses moments that haven't even happened yet. You don't just love who they are. You love who you believe they will become. So when they leave, you don't just lose their presence. You lose the imagined timeline. And the brain struggles with unfinished stories. It craves completion. It wants the narrative to make sense. But heartbreak interrupts the script mid-sentence. Now you're left holding plans with nowhere to place them. And when reality doesn't match imagination, the crash is brutal. Because imagination is powerful. It feels real to the nervous system. Your body reacted to that future as if it was already unfolding. So losing it feels like losing something tangible. Now you have to accept. They weren't who you thought they were. Or maybe they were never who you needed them to be. And the future you pictured was a dream your mind carefully built. Letting go of a dream means accepting uncertainty again. And psychologically, uncertainty feels unsafe. That's why it feels heavier than letting go of a person. Because you're not just releasing someone from your life, you're dismantling a world your mind had already started living in. One day, you won't miss them. Not because you stopped loving, but because you started understanding that intensity is not the same as compatibility. That chemistry is not the same as safety. That attachment is not the same as love. Love feels calm. Love doesn't make you question your worth. Love doesn't disappear when things get difficult. And when you finally experience peaceful love, you look back and realize you weren't missing them. You were missing the emotional chaos you mistook for passion. And peace will feel unfamiliar at first. But this time, unfamiliar will be healthy. Tell me something honestly. Do you miss them? Or do you miss who you were when they chose you